Excuse me while I kiss this guy. So hard to find my way. I'm on my own.
Top 10 most misunderstood lyrics of the 1960s. Have you ever sung along to a song for years, only to find out you've been totally butchering the lyrics? Don't lie, we've all done it. But what if I told you some of the most legendary songs of the 1960s weren't just misheard, they were misunderstood entirely? Yeah, whole generations of fans thought these songs meant one thing, when the real story was something completely different. And trust me, some of these will blow your mind. All right, grab a coffee and let's break down the top 10 most misunderstood lyrics of the 1960s. 10. Louie Louie, The Kingsmen, 1963. Let's start with maybe the most notorious misunderstood lyric of the decade, Louie Louie. You remember this one? Garbled vocals, pounding beat, and teenagers everywhere screaming along without actually knowing the words. The thing is, nobody knew the words, not even the FBI. No, really, the FBI spent almost 2 years investigating this song because parents complained it was filled with dirty lyrics. They thought it was secretly obscene. In reality, the singer Jack Ely just had braces, sang into a cheap microphone, and, well, mumbled his way through. The lyrics were basically about a guy sailing home to see his girl. Totally innocent. But because it was impossible to understand, people just assumed it had to be filthy. So next time you mumble along to Louie Louie, congratulations, you're doing it exactly right. 9. Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix, 1967. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Oh, you've sung it that way. Don't deny it. The real lyric? Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
Tomorrow or just the end of time.
But Hendrix sang it with such a slurred swagger that people everywhere thought he was making out with some random dude mid-guitar solo. And here's the funny part. Jimmy knew people misheard it, and he actually leaned into the joke. Sometimes on stage, he'd literally kiss a bandmate or point to someone in the crowd when singing it.
Many things don't seem the same.
So, yeah, if you ever thought you were wrong, you weren't. You and Hendrix were in on the same joke. 8. Blowin' in the Wind, Bob Dylan, 1962.
Is a blowing in the wind? The answer is blowing.
Bob Dylan was crowned the voice of a generation with Blowin' in the Wind. But here's the kicker. People thought Dylan was giving answers when really he was dodging them. The lyric, the answer, my friend, is
The answer, my friend, is a blowing in the wind.
is blowin' in the wind, was misunderstood as some profound solution hiding in nature. But Dylan later admitted he meant the opposite. The answers were right in front of us, obvious as the wind, and yet people refused to grab them. So if you thought Dylan was being mystical, nope. He was being sarcastic, which honestly makes it way more Dylan. 7. Born to be Wild, Steppenwolf, 1968. Here's a fun one. Everyone hears that iconic line, "Get your motor running, head out on the highway." Cool. Cool biker anthem, right? But people completely miss the most important lyric in the song. When John Kay sings Heavy Metal Thunder, that wasn't about music. It was about the sound of motorcycles. This was 1968.
Heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind.
Heavy metal as a genre didn't even exist yet. Music writers later stole the phrase to describe bands like Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. So in a way, Steppenwolf accidentally named an entire genre, but originally it was just the roar of a Harley engine. Figure 6. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, The Beatles, 1967. Okay.
Tangerine trees and marmalade sky.
Okay, here's a debate that will never die. Is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds about LSD or not? Fans swore the title spelled it out. LSD, psychedelic imagery, kaleidoscope lyrics, late 60s vibe. Case closed, right?
With tangerine trees and marmalade skies.
But John Lennon insisted it was inspired by his young son Julian's drawing of a classmate named Lucy. He doubled down again and again. It's not about drugs. The truth? Probably a little of both. Lennon's imagination plus a 4-year-old's doodle equals one of the most misunderstood lyrics in rock history.
Everyone smiles as you drift past the flowers.
And admit it, you kinda still don't buy his explanation, do you? 5. Fortunate Son, Credence Clearwater Revival, 1969. It ain't me, I ain't no senator's son.
It ain't me, I ain't no senator's son.
Most people heard Credence blasting out of radios in 1969 and thought it was just a cool, rebellious anthem.
Silver spoon in hand.
But John Fogerty wasn't just rebelling, he was furious. The misunderstood part is that this wasn't anti-war in general, it was anti-privilege. Draft dodging wasn't for everyone, it was for the rich and powerful. Fogerty himself said the song wasn't about hating America, it was about hating the hypocrisy. So next time someone cranks this up at a 4th of July barbecue thinking it's a patriotic jam, maybe give them a little side-eye. Number 4, Browneyed Girl, Van Morrison, 1967.
Our hearts are thumping and you, a brown-eyed girl.
Everyone loves Brown-Eyed Girl. Catchy, innocent, nostalgic. But originally, it was called Brown-Skinned Girl.
We used to sing.
Yep. Van Morrison admitted he first wrote it as a calypso-style tune celebrating interracial romance, which at the time was still a pretty bold move. Somewhere along the way, maybe label pressure, maybe radio nerves, it got changed.
So hard to find my way. I'm on my own.
So, the misunderstood lyric here isn't just what fans heard, it's what they didn't hear. The original intention was way more daring. 3. Sympathy for the Devil, The Rolling Stones, 1968.
I've been around for a long, long year. So many a man, so
Few songs caused more panic in the 60s than Sympathy for the Devil. Parents thought Mick Jagger was literally worshiping Satan on vinyl. Churches freaked out. Moral panic everywhere.
please allow me to introduce myself.
But the song wasn't promoting evil. It was warning about it. Jagger wrote the lyrics from the devil's perspective as a reminder of humanity's own violence throughout history. From wars to assassinations, the point was, stop blaming the devil, look at what we're doing. Of course, no one heard it that way in 1968. They just thought Jagger had horns under that shaggy haircut. Just 2. Puff, the Magic Dragon, Peter, Paul, and Mary, 1963.
The magic dragon lived by the sea.
Oh, come on, you've heard this one. Puff, the Magic Dragon is about smoking weed. At least, that's what every teenager in the 60s said. Puff, dragons, paper. It had to be code, right? Except...
The magic dragon lived by the sea.
Nope. The writers Peter Yarrow and Leonard Lipton insisted it was about lost childhood innocence. The dragon represented imagination fading as kids grow up. No drugs involved at all, but once the rumor spread, it stuck forever.
Oh, a dragon lives forever, but not so little girls and little boys.
So if you were one of those kids winking every time it came on the radio, sorry, you were reading too much into it. Number 1, I Am the Walrus, The Beatles, 1967.
I am he as you are, he as you are, me and we are.
And finally, the king of misunderstood lyrics, I Am the Walrus. If you've ever tried to make sense of it, congratulations, you've wasted your time. John Lennon literally wrote it to confuse people. He'd heard teachers were analyzing Beatles lyrics in schools.
Corporation t-shirts, Stupid Bloody Tuesday, man. You've been a naughty boy, you let your face grow long.
And thought that was hilarious. So he jammed nonsense together. Yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye. Yeah, good luck finding meaning in that. Fans and critics tore their hair out looking for hidden messages. But the truth was, there wasn't any. The joke was on us. Lennon basically said, if you're gonna overanalyze my songs, here's one you'll never figure out.
Mr. City Policeman sitting pretty little policeman.
And you know what? Mission accomplished. So, which of these misunderstood lyrics blew your mind the most? Were you one of the people belting out "Kiss the Sky" or swearing Puff the Magic Dragon was about rolling papers? The 60s were wild, and if there's one thing we learned, it's that fans will always find their own meaning in songs, no matter what the artist intended. If you had fun on this nostalgia trip, hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite misunderstood lyric, share this with a fellow music lover, and of course, subscribe for more deep dives into the songs that shaped generations. Until next time, keep listening, and maybe double check those lyrics.